Hello, 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 hello. So, tonight's guest is Derrick. He's the driver and the owner of the Ford Falcon that's came into the big rim world and has been kicking butt and taking names. So, if you guys are not following Derrick, then you are really probably doing yourself a disservice, and probably do need to go follow him. So, you guys had some really interesting questions for Derrick, and um, this should be an interesting interview. So, I spoke with him a few minutes ago. He should be on in just a moment. If while we wait for him to join, I think I see him. While we make sure you go click the link in my bio and subscribe, because if you missed any parts of any previous episodes of Rise and Vibe, you can catch up on them. Or if you missed any of today's episode, you can catch up on it. So, sir, the hour.
How you doing?
I am doing great. Not only myself, but a lot of people have been looking forward to me sitting down talking to you for some time now.
Yes, ma'am.
They were looking forward to it way before, but then, how do we put it mildly? Some things happened, and they definitely were anticipating me talking to you after some things happened.
So. Yes, ma'am. Go figure, right?
So, and I was like, oh my goodness. So let me just say first, before we get started, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to me and answer the fans' questions.
Yes, ma'am, anytime. I appreciate you having me on and what you do for the culture.
Thank you so much. So I'll start off with one of my questions, and then I'll get right into the fans' questions.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so tell me how you got started being into cars and racing.
Man, my grandpa did it. My dad actually owned a shop for a living, and he taught me everything I know. And then I, took it from there. And, that knowledge and technology and so much changes year after year. Don't take very long. A lot of your old school guys kind of lose a lot of the new technology and stay in the older ways. And that's kind of where, my dad taught me up to, and then I took all the EFI and turbos and stuff like that and moved on in that direction. So I started my own business.
Okay. So a lot of fans wanted to know, in the climate of big rim racing, with what you knew, what you knew about big rim racing before you started building your car, what made you decide to go with a Ford Falcon?
I always like to be different. I don't like to have the same car everybody else has. Most people know me for having, a Mustang or something along those lines, a Ford car. And my dad had a lot of Falcons, and you just don't see them that year model no more. And I was kind of building a small tire car, and I do a lot of big rim stuff, and J-Rock really turned me on to the big rim stuff, and it's fun, and it's like old school racing used to be, and that's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just on rims. It makes it interesting, Not everybody can do it.
So you really think big rim racing is like how it used to be?
Yeah, what I mean by that is, so if you go in the small tire world or go on the street, everybody's crying about this or crying about that. Whereas when you have a shootout, it's the same tire, pull up, get down, and ain't no bullshit with it. You got nitrous cars, pro charge cars, turbo cars. Everybody has a different power plant, and ain't nobody really bitching about it. They're just sending them through there, and that's what makes it cool.
Well, I will say, given that you just, well, not just, but you've been here, you've been on the big rim side through J-Rock, and then now with yourself. Trust me, it's nothing like it used to be. It used to be so fun, and so it's a lot more mess involved in it now than it was when I first came and I first started watching it, and I first started, even from when I first started doing my show. It's a lot that I love about it, but it's a lot that I kind of don't agree with about it. And, we'll probably get into that a little bit later in the interview. The fans also want to know if you think you'll be building any other type of car for big rim racing.
I got one slick car fixing to come out that we've been doing with J-Rocks. It'll be out very, very soon. And then we got a hard tire car. It's a Cutlass we're about to bring out.
What?
Yes, ma'am. They're both J-Rock's car and the other hard tire car I'll be driving should be coming out around the same time.
Okay. So, what is your favorite part about big rim racing?
Side by side racing and realizing I got to say this before I can say that. You're going to have bullshit in everything that you do.
Right.
But as a driver, the fans don't really get to see a lot of what happens behind the scenes. But it's like when me and Primo and Prime raced, okay? Me and him was so pumped up at the end of that track, dude, you couldn't have told neither one of us shit, all right? And neither one of us knew who won. We was fired up. Like, in that moment, that's what we do it for. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what I mean by that. It's even like when Grand Nasty beat me at Holly Springs. Me and him on top of that hill was so fired up because, one, he beat me, but we went straight through there. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, that's all I want for anybody is to be safe and go through there. You know what I'm saying? Win or lose, that's what we build our cars for, is to have fun, And that's why I race.
So what's your least favorite part about big rim racing?
Man, you got bad people in everything that you do. Co-signing for bullshit.
Now you said something there.
That's what I'm going to stick to it.
Now you said something there.
Yeah.
You listen. That was a mouthful. That was a sound bite right there.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I hate that. Like I tell people all the time, for me, I kind of, how people, you could be anything you want to be on the internet, right? It's people that's, they was the most popular person in their city on the internet, but in real life, don't nobody know them, right?
Right. Like that song, Everybody.
Right. But for me, I try to really be on the internet what I am off the internet, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So if I say I don't stand for BS, I don't co-sign foolishness, I don't do that, then I stand for BS and I co-sign foolishness, then really, you know what I'm saying? You could tell that I'm not genuine and I'm just saying it I'm doing it for the gram, right?
Sure. That's like some people love me. Some people say I'm an asshole and they still love me. But I'm that same asshole every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be, whether it hurts your feelings or not, I'm going to tell you how it is. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Right.
If that makes me an asshole, I'll be that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So we'll move over to the controversy that has seemed to, I won't say follow you. There has been some controversy on your side in the big rim racing. Most notably, the back and forth that you had with a certain promoter.
Mm-hmm.
There was a question asked by a fan. When did you know? They said, when did you know you were going to knock that N-word out? They said the whole N-word, but I'm going to say the N-word. When did you know you was like, oh, I'm about to punch him? When did you know that was about to happen?
When he ran his mouth with the tough talk, and then when he did that to that special needs kid, that pretty much just handled it all right there.
Right. So you was like, I'm going to stick up for.
Yeah, it's more than that. There's a lot of people that's contacted me that's done the same thing. And, I'm just the one that's not going to keep my mouth shut. You're going to have to shut me up. A lot of people nowadays go along with the bullshit because they don't want to be the one. And really where I come from, if you're a fucked up motherfucker, people know about it and they know not to fuck with you. And that's pretty much what I like to stand on. And I think when stuff like that carried on into this sport, it would change a lot of shit because there's a lot of good people in the sport trying to do what we love. And then you got people in this sport trying to hustle people off of what we're doing. And when you sit back and really look at where all the bullshit's coming from, I ain't been doing it as long as 90% of people probably even watching right now. And if I can see it, you're not going to bullshit me and say you can't. It just goes back to co-signing for the bullshit.
Right. So you was like, oh, no, I'm not co-signing this. I'm going to make sure that I, at least let folks know how I feel about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, when that question was asked, I contemplated even asking the question because, you know, I really pride myself on, like, I see everything. First of all, I see every single thing that happened. And if I don't see it, people send it to me. So when the
Right.
situation happened, you know, I got 100 videos
For sure.
and 100 phone calls. Like,
Hey,
are you here? Are you here?
the
I was
internet,
like, no, I'm not there. Well, let me send you this video.
the internet's undefeated.
They certainly are, but and you know what's weird to me, growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in, we kind of lived our life like that. Like you know, you saying all this stuff, but you gonna have to see me. And
For
when you
sure.
see me, you gonna have to
Hey,
walk it like you talk it.
you wasn't the only one raised like that.
I see. I know. But I know I was like, dang, I hate that it happened at a show. Everybody will, people say things and things. I just, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, I can say that. I understand that, like, because, I talk to people off of social media. And when they say that, listen, here's the thing. You could always call and talk to me like a man or a woman. But then when you go to the court of public opinion and get on the internet and start saying all type of stuff about me, then that's when the problem comes in.
Right.
And even though I'm a female, that's how I am.
Right.
Like, I'm not, me and you, we can be cool, we can be cordial, or we don't even have to be friends. But when you start talking crazy about me, even though I'm a girl and you might be a guy, one day you're going to have to see me.
Right. Stand on your business. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. So
Well,
that was the only determining factor.
it
The
was.
past
It
things
was.
that y'all had going on, those weren't determining factors either.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of it. I mean, when I first come into this shit, you promise people and tell people you're gonna do something, and then the only people that show up to support you, you turn around and shit on, and then keep telling them this and that for the longest. I mean, and then talk all that crap like you're the bad person. But yeah, you got to see me about it.
Hmm. I understand. So what would be your best advice looking for someone to get involved in big rim racing?
Man, come get in this water. It's fun.
What about all the money it's gonna cost them?
Man, racing ain't cheap, period. And you gonna lose a whole lot more than you win. If it was winning, everybody'd do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to really want this shit, man. Like, people don't understand. These racers and drivers and car owners, man, if y'all knew what they went through from like Monday of the week before the race, when you see them on Saturday, I guarantee you they got 3 or 4 hours of sleep that whole week, and they're running on fumes just to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People don't really understand what we go through just to be able to make it to these races sometimes. And that's why I look at racing as a critic. You know, you got a lot of different style cars and power plants and stuff like that. And a lot of these guys have been doing it for a long time, and you can't do nothing but respect them. You know, we travel all over the country, not just myself, but all these hard tire cars and big rim cars. That stuff's not cheap. So hats off to all these guys doing it, man. And that's racing in general, you know, because without them, people wouldn't have nothing to watch.
What
It's
do you
not
feel
getting any
about
cheaper. It's not getting any cheaper to live nowadays, too.
right? What do you feel about the climate of people feeling as if they should get paid to come to races?
Man, somebody asked me that a while back, and it's pretty much the same thing to me as a sponsor. You can't hate on somebody for feeling like they should hire somebody because that's what the fans want to see. Okay, so if you got two cars that's hot right now and you want to see them race each other, well, then you already know what time it is as the show. That's just like when you do a movie, it's going to be about something interesting or nobody's going to watch it. If you're out there doing good, well, of course, I want you pushing my parts or my sticker on your car, whatever. I want to help you make that ride. That's how everybody big in drag racing, period, made it somewhere, you know? So hats off to those guys.
Right. So I do feel like the goal is to get paid and get sponsored. I feel that way.
For sure. only way you're going to do that is showing up, showing out, and beating everybody, and not picking and choosing.
Yeah. So you just got to get out of race.
Yep.
So someone asked, are you gonna wear jorts the next time?
Yeah, Mason.
What are jorts?
He picking around. We always got these dumbass shorts we wear. Like I got some with some rubber duckies. My partner's got some with some weenie dogs on it. We always wear some dumbass shorts when we race.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's so hot. It's just our thing.
Someone asked, what made you build a big rim car, especially something out of the norm? He answered that previously, so I think he answered that before you came on. In terms of team, the times that I have seen you guys at the track, it looks like you have a really strong team. Have you guys been racing together a long time?
Yeah, and it's not just that. My team helps other teams, like Team Carnage. We help them line up. We're just that guy. Like, I'm that person, if your car breaks before you go up to the line and I got the part in my trailer, I'm going to give it to you. Because I've been that guy, you know what I'm saying? We just we're all a family at the track. Even if you're racing somebody, I still want the best for you. Yeah, I want to win, but I don't want nothing bad to happen to you either. And if I can help you, if that takes my people lining me up, then going over there and lining you up, we're still going to give you the best chance you got at it, you know?
Right. Where did you grow up?
Southeast Texas.
I heard the accent.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it.
Needle and Port Neches and Port Arthur.
Oh, man. You still live in Texas?
No, man. Springfield, Louisiana.
Yeah, I hear that too. Yeah. So the first time I ever heard you talk, and I had never seen you, I thought you were, I did not think you were Caucasian. Let me just say that.
Yeah. Down where I live, we don't see all that crap. You know what I'm saying?
That's the one thing I really respect about, especially Louisiana. Now, Texas, I don't know that much about, but in Louisiana, I really respect that about them. I'm pretty sure it's parts that are like that, but for the most part, anywhere I've been in Louisiana, like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say it. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Louisiana got like the coolest white people.
We just be having a good time, you know what I'm saying?
They do. They dance. They just it's like they
its own
they
world.
just enjoy life more than other people.
For sure. That's what everybody should do that.
Yeah, that's true. But sadly and unfortunately, that's not the case. How do you fit? Do you have kids?
Yes, ma'am.
You want your kids to race?
One already does.
How old are they?
8 years old. She got junior dragster.
No.
We was out with her all last weekend. She gonna go with me to Star Max race too. If I asked her if she wants to, I don't know, but I might bring her a little dragster and let her make some licks out there.
Oh man, that's crazy. I don't know if I would want my kid to race. It's dangerous.
If it's up to me, she'll be driving my car one day.
Now that's dope. That's really.
Since she was
really dope.
like, I'll tell you, I had her a hopped up Power Wheel car, and they done a Power Wheel race at a go-kart track one time, and she beat the crap out of all them kids. Well, the lady was like, you ought to get her a go-kart. I was like, well, how old does she got to be? She's like 5. I was like, oh, well, she's not 5 yet. And I told her how old she was. She's like, oh, she's 5? I was like, no, man. She's like, oh, she's 5? I was like, well, yeah, I guess. And we got her a go-kart, and she won the points championship that year, rookie year, and then she won it the next year. And they closed the little track she raced at, and we're blessed enough. I got lucky to get a good deal on a dragster, and now she's been cutting up with that.
Yeah, because I didn't know how expensive those junior dragsters was.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. We're gonna have to get her a job and some sponsors, because we ain't gonna be able to keep up with this. You got a race car and she got a junior drag. We're gonna have to figure something out.
It's really, I have more fun with that than I do my own car, man. Where she's at with it, she's still young, so she's not running like 790 classes with all the billet motors and all that. She just got an old methanol 5-horse motor with a little work done to it, and it runs mid-12s in the 8th, and You know, she bracket races. It goes about 50 miles an hour, and that's all she needs, you know, and that's what she'll race till she's about 10 years old and start stepping it up. So
Who is your biggest arch nemesis in big rim racing?
myself,
Okay.
always want to go faster. And it ain't nothing disrespectful, but I'm gonna get Grand Nasty's ass next time I see him.
Listen, because that's who I thought you was gonna say.
Yeah,
And then when
it's all love.
when he went to raffle the car off, I know he was like, "Oh Lord, I ain't gonna get my race back."
Yeah. Me and him talk all the time. It's all love, but he knows what time it is. It's competition, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do this shit for.
So is that your favorite person to race, Grand Nasty?
Man, I like to race anybody. Like, to be the fastest in any sport, you have to beat everybody.
Right.
I haven't done that yet, but I want to race everybody. Let's just leave it at that.
How do you feel about these people saying they're the fastest, but they haven't raced everybody?
They ain't.
I be thinking that, but I don't say nothing. I just sit back and watch everything. And I'm like, bro, how you fast as you ain't raced 100% of the people?
Exactly. Like, I mean, you have to look, like, I don't make it to all events either, but you look at all these cars traveling and who's been winning shootouts and going rounds. I mean, it's not very hard to see that. You know what I mean? I mean, we're fixing to be in September. The year's almost over. You know who's been doing what and who hasn't been doing what. That's why I say I go back to looking at racing like a critic. I look at it as if we were playing football or anything else. You know, who's doing what players are doing what, the team's moving. You know, that's what you look at this as. Anything else, you're being biased.
That makes sense. Who are your favorite, before you got involved, who was your favorite big rim racer? Or you might still have a favorite or a favorite.
Believe it or not, I had a lot of respect for Boost Doctor and his program, because when I first started messing with J-Rock's car and looking into this, that was a dude that was building his own cars, tuning his own cars, and going all over the country on different tires and wheels and doing his fucking thing. And I thought that was pretty badass. It's coming from somebody who builds their own car. I don't tune my own shit or nothing like that, or at that time I wasn't. So, and I'm still not 100%, but you look at these guys that are doing that shit, and like Grand Nasty, his car's flying. You know, that's the two cars I really, really looked at. And then when we started getting into it, you realize all the rest of the people. You got DNL, and there's a lot of fast cars in this shit. Big Joey, Hollywood, you know, Playboy. These guys been doing this shit a long time, even back when it was on hard tires. So they had it figured out a long time before we even stepped foot into this stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't just pick one car. It's like I say this all the time. If there was a shootout this weekend and every car and every class showed up that's really out there, anybody can take it home. There's some fast cars in this game. And there's a lot of new builds or upgraded cars that you ain't really even realized yet coming. And there's cars being built on tables and in shops across the country that are gangster.
Right. You know what? You said Boost Doctor. You know, one thing I always loved about Boost Doctor was, remember, well, I don't know how long you watched big rim racing, but when Boost Doctor first came out, he didn't have no paint job. He had, like, they call it like Wookie rims. Like, he didn't have no name brand rims. But he had rims. They told him he had to have rims and he had to be on a certain inch rim. But his car, it wasn't painted or none of that, right? And then when he won so many races, he painted his car and he got name brand rims. And he told them, y'all MFers paid for all this.
Right. And that we call that the Mississippi special. They got a bunch of cars around Mississippi be looking raggedy as hell. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that sucker will catch you slipping.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hustle.
What's your favorite? That's what?
That's a good hustle is what it is.
It is. What's your favorite track to race at?
Man, that's a hard one. I got a couple favorite tracks, really. Twin City and Atmore, probably.
Mm-hmm.
No Problem. Evadale. I mean, all these little tracks right around here and up that way towards Montgomery, they're all really, really good radial tracks. As far as Florida goes and Georgia, those are badass tracks too. not a track I regularly visit because it's so far away, but I'm going for events, you know. But I mean, all these tracks are really, really good tracks, you know. You don't see my
For the
car.
people, go ahead.
My car is set up to go down a lot of different surfaces. We race on really good shit. What we race on, you know.
What people want? People think they want to get in big rim racing, but tell somebody what it takes financially for you to go to a race on a weekend.
Man, mild to wild. Shit. Just everybody. I can't really say what my specific price is because it could be different to the next man. Everybody's tuner costs different prices. Just a tuner per day can be 800 to 1,500 or more a day, you know. And then you're looking at Airbnbs. That's 400 or 500 for the weekend. Fuel there and back, and race car. Getting your whole team in the gate, feeding your whole team. You know, some of them you pay. You know what I'm saying? Some of them do it for the love. You know, everybody's got different people that do different things, and you know, my story is a little different than the next guy's. You know, I do a lot of stuff for myself. I have a really good friend of mine that tunes my car, and I'm blessed enough to have him be able to teach me too. And you know, my guys do it because that's what we do for each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we're not racing my car, we're racing one of theirs. You know what I mean?
Like Flag said, 3K minimum.
3K. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a really good number.
Listen, when Dunkzilla told me how much it costs for him to come over here and go to a race, I was like, you know, God bless you guys for coming out and racing and putting on a show, because that's a lot of money.
And then like I seen, let's use Big Low and Prime for instance. You know, they posted that video. There was overnighting parts. So then you got all that you just said, plus gaskets, this, that, the time you're missing for work, rushing around, overnighting parts just to get that thing fixed. They come out there and put on a show for you. So, you know, hats off for them. You know, sometimes, you know, it's Wednesday night, you got to hit the road Thursday, and you got to make decisions, you know, and that sometimes you do all that and find out it didn't even fix it, and you don't find out till you got to the track, you know, and those are the times that suck, you know, but it happens, you know. Sometimes your car's running perfect, you're at the top of your game, and you pull up the line and that thing blows up. It's not if, it's when. A race car is a fire. You keep going with $100 bills.
Somebody said
I don't care. I don't care if it's got rims on it or not.
right. I gotta commend you guys, because here's the thing: y'all get out and y'all put on a show, and then y'all get on live, and then y'all hear these fans talking all this. Some of the fans, and I won't say all the fans. Some of the fans get on in them comments and say the craziest stuff to y'all, and I just be like, oh my God, do you know that these guys will never get the money back they spent? They coming out in most cases not even getting paid to show up, and may not even win. What if you're in a shootout and you break the first round? So now you out of all that money, you ain't got a chance to win your money back. You out the first round, and then you just got to go back home, you know, act like you ain't just spent all this money and, you know, whatever happened. And then they get in these comments talking so crazy to y'all. I just be looking and just shaking my head.
It's easy to talk about shit you don't know nothing about.
You better say that. See, you've been giving me sound bites through this whole interview, and I'm going to have to take these little clips and put them up there. So, what do you wish could be better when it comes to big rim racing?
Man, keep it about racing and do what you say you're going to do.
What do you mean, do what you say you're going to do?
If you say you're going to show up to a race, show up to a race. If you can't, let somebody know. If you say you're going to do something for a racer or a race, stand on your business. You know, there's a lot of fake and flaw in this world. You don't need to add it into what we're trying to have fun in.
Right. Somebody said in the comments, you just became their favorite racer. I ain't gonna
Appreciate
lie. You became a lot of people's favorite racer a little bit ago.
it, man.
Yeah, you. One thing I can say, even, and I was talking. I don't know who I was talking to the other day, and I was actually talking about you. I said one thing I love about Derrick is from the very first time I met him, he has been such a respectful guy. So it's weird to me that what transpired at the track happened, because to me, you have just been always so respectful.
Yes, ma'am. Uh, just like anybody else, you know, sometimes you got to take it where you don't want to go to.
Right. Yeah, I just didn't expect, but hey, it was like Channel 5 news. I was like, oh my God. Are you one of those people that it's hard to get you out of character?
Uh, yeah and no, just depends. Uh, any man's gonna stand on his business if it becomes a principal matter.
Right. Yeah, man, y'all, yeah. Y'all, I think when it comes to y'all, a lot of y'all, it's respect, or if it's you respect me or you gonna get disrespected. I think
Right.
that's the way that it goes.
Well, it's like me and you get on talk on here. I got no reason to not have respect for you. You've been nothing but respectful to me. You know, when I get on live, you're gonna be respectful. But it's just like I don't know any of these people on a personal level, just like I don't know me on a personal level. All you know is what you see on here, and I'm respectful of you because I don't have a reason not to be. You know, and that's just where I keep it at. You know,
Right.
try to be the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, that's a rule of thumb, though. I think a lot of people don't understand that. I, I'm I'm basically most of the time a respectful person too, but also we can take it there. I just choose not to try to take it there because I don't know if you believe in signs, but I'm a Taurus. So it's either zero usually or 1,000. And it ain't no 100, 200, 300. Like it's zero or 1,000. And when it get to the 1,000, I might be about to go to jail or something.
Right.
So I don't even want to get to the 1,000. So let's just keep it cordial and cute. That's what I'm saying.
I'm Aquarius. We do it with a smile on our face.
My mama Aquarius. That's crazy. So, what would you like for your fans, followers, supporters to know about you?
Man, if you got kids, bring them, take pictures in the car. Open book, man. I try to be. You know, if you ask me stuff about my car or questions, a lot of people hit me up in DMs all the time. I try to help people out as much as I can. I'm just a regular dude like anybody else. And if you want to build a race car, you know, it don't matter if it takes 5 years, 10 years, or a year, depending on how you can move. Just do it right the first time and move at your pace and don't settle. And you always have what you want in the end.
How long did it take you to build your car?
Man, I kind of got burnt out on it a couple of times. Almost sold it a couple of times. Believe it or not, during the hurricane, we were without power for like, I think it was 2 months. And I just got a wild hair and started working on it again. About 2.5 years probably, but like 6 months of it, it's set. And then a few months in that, I'd get burnt out on it, just get busy, sit in the corner, you know. And I just, one day I brought it out and started working on it, you know.
Were you going to big rim races all that time and just watching, or were you just focusing on
Well,
the car?
started racing for J-Rock, and that kind of reignited the flame with it, I guess. You know, me and him, we rock together pretty hard and help each other out a lot with our cars and stuff like that. We're a team, you know, and seeing that side of racing is I'm a no prep racer, so like that shit's cool because we're doing shit you're not supposed to be doing on streets and stuff like that. So that's always been neat. Well, then you turn around and do this shit on rims. Ain't none of these rims SFI spec or none of that shit supposed to be doing what we're doing with it, but we're doing it, you know. And I love going to the track. You know, I'm a white guy, and I'm going to say this. I don't care if it gets you in your feelings. I love going to the track, and you got them old white men turn their nose up at that rim car, and that bitch shoots through there, and then they won't come talk to you. God damn, boy, I've never seen no shit like that. You know, and just, it's not just them, it's all kinds of people. You know what I'm saying? It blows their mind. You know, there's so many people out there that this shit ain't even touched yet. And it's funny watching that shit happen. I love it.
Right.
Or catching cars slipping that don't think they're fast. That shit's funny too.
I think big rim racing has taken really the world by storm. They are now just getting to see what we have been seeing for years.
Right.
I mean, they weren't around when Dunkmaster went and did burnouts in front of D&L shop, and you know, and back then they kept it about racing. Like they were rival camps, but after all that happened, they went and sat down and ate a meal together.
Right.
And at one point, it got so crazy. Everybody was talking all crazy to everybody, and nobody liked each other. It went from literally, I used to go to the track and it felt like a family reunion. It felt like I had my you know how like when you was young on the first day of school, you had your clothes laid out and the clothes slept on one side of the bed and you slept on the other side of the bed. And you couldn't wait to get up and put your clothes on and go see your friends. And I was like that. But then for a while, it got kind of crazy. Now, I think it's getting kind of back to that. But for a minute, it got crazy. I was like, you know what? I'm thinking I might stop my show. I might step away. It's crazy.
That's probably, and I'm just going to take a guess, that's probably when street cars started turning into race cars.
Mm-hmm.
Every time change comes and something, shit storms happen.
Well, it was, but also it was around the time people started talking crazy to each other. They stopped making it about the racing and the cars and started making it personal about your family, about what you done in your past, what's going on with you, which had nothing to do with nothing. Like go ahead.
I don't know ne'er person in this shit on a personal level to be talking about your family or none of that like that. The only person whose family I even know in this shit would be J-Rock. You know what I'm saying? And his family's like mine. I got no reason to say, you know what I'm saying? No shit like that. Especially when it comes to a race car. Like, if you just don't want to race somebody, just don't race them. You ain't got to do all that other dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just what it is. It's bullshit.
Right.
In a world full of everybody wants a trophy, you got to remember not everybody wins.
You better say that. And the other thing is, you can't win a race if you ain't racing. Somebody need to tell them that, because some people that ain't gonna never win a race, ain't even gonna race, but they gonna get on some type of social media and cap 25-8 and ain't gonna race even a bicycle.
Win one race and ride that horse off into the sunset and never come back.
If that went through your head when you thought Grand Nasty was going around for his car, you was like, oh my God, I ain't gonna get my race back.
No, I picked with him. Like, you know, your dad used to tell you, I told him, I said, bro, I ain't even mad at you. I'm just disappointed.
Were you happy when he didn't raffle it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. In Georgia, we was talking about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do this shit for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Every single one of us, they don't talk about it. I got no problem talking about it. Every single one of us at home wrenching on these cars or building ones got one thing on their mind, and I'm going to go out there and kick everybody's ass with my car. That's what we build them for. I'm just the only one that ain't scared to come on here and say it, you know? That's what everybody thinks. That's what everybody wants to do.
Right. Do you think the internet or social media has hurt racing or helped it?
I think entertaining a lot of bullshit's what fucks it up. You kind of can choose what you want to follow or not follow. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if I get on live and they're talking about some shit I don't want to talk about, that leave button works just like that turn on button works. It's up to you if you decide to take it there.
Right.
I on here all the time and people don't even know me or talking shit they don't even know nothing about, and you just choose to say it or don't. Sometimes I entertain it, I ain't got nothing to do, and I'll play dumb with them. Sometimes I don't, you know, but that's like if you check my Facebook, I use that for a lot of dumb shit, videos, laughs. That's what it's for, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing on this shit serious. There's too much fake on it.
Right. I think I at one point used to think that some of the like bigger names, well, not even the bigger names, like a lot of you guys, maybe not you per se. I feel like if you're trying to take your brand and your, you know, your program to the next level, I think social media training would be a good thing for some people.
Maybe so. I'm pretty computer illiterate, so I'm not too good in that area of things, you know what I'm saying? So to each their own.
Yeah. I just think like, well, for me, I never knew my brand was gonna go where it went, but I have learned how to, and I had to learn everything that I learned really about social media in front of everybody. Like I go back and look at my show when I started my very first show in 2019, September 2nd. My first guest was Rose the Kid, first person, and then that same day I had 3 guests. I did 3 shows. Next was Murph, and then Miss Super Sport. And I look at interviews from back then to now, and I have grown leaps and bounds. Like even my interview etiquette, listening to the guest, letting the guest talk, letting them finish what they're saying, it's so much different. But I had to learn all that in front of everybody. I didn't have anybody to give me any social media training, or it probably was people, but I didn't know anything about internet and social media training and etiquette and all those things. These are all things that I just really had to learn in front of people. So I really do feel like some of these guys, we'll use like DM, for example. And when he first started, when In and Out first started, DM didn't even have the same social media etiquette that he has now. The thing that I respect about him is I kind of refer to some of the guys like the president, right? They might not be the smartest person in the room, and I'm not in any way saying he's not smart or whatever. They might not be the smartest person in the room. It's just like with these cars. You may not know so much about cars, right? But you have smart people around you who can take up the slack where you are not able to do.
You know how to network.
Right. And so that's what I think is missing with some people when it comes to, because looking at people in our car culture in the big rim world, there are some people who really have the talent and things going for them that can really go to the next level. What they lack is social media training or etiquette, knowing how to articulate, knowing how to stay far away from the BS. And you can ask some of the girls, some of the ladies, even some of the guys that may or may not be on here. When I see you guys, I'll use Larry, for example, right? This probably maybe was about 3 years ago. Larry did something on the internet, and I was like, oh my God, Larry, you got way too many people watching you, way too much to lose for you to be on the internet going back and forth with somebody. So when he got off, I called him on the phone, and I'm like, Larry, I'm cussing. Like, they'll tell you, you've never got it before. But if you do, if I call you and I'm cussing because I love you.
Right.
The guys will tell you, like, any of them can tell you. If they do something on the phone, I'm not going to get in the comments. I'm going to pick up the phone and be like, Derrick, what the F are you doing? Right. But it's not going to sound like that. Right. I'm cussing.
Right.
But it comes from a place where I want to see all you guys do well. And then when y'all do something, it comes from disappointment. I want to see y'all do good. I want to see every one of y'all win every race you have, which ain't going to happen. But I also want you to handle yourself when you lose a race like you won the race.
For sure.
But when that doesn't happen, I get really disappointed because I see where it could go. I have been here with these guys for a long time, so I know where it could go. I think what messes it up is they don't understand. Sometimes no response is the best response. You ain't got to comment or respond to every single thing somebody says. You seen these comments been rolling up. I have learned how to ignore the comments. I done seen every comment that came down there. But did I respond? No. And if it get too crazy, I know how to turn the comments off.
Right.
So that's one thing that I want to make sure that you understand as well. Because it might come a time I might have to pick up the phone and cuss you out.
Oh yeah.
But it's coming from a place of love.
I'm definitely that person.
So those were all my questions. Is there anything you wanted us to know or you wanted to talk about before we get out of here?
And September 8th and 9th, man. That's the next one. Star Max show. It's on. We locked out Playboy first round. Plan on winning that sucker too. I'm telling you.
That was a good segue because I was just about to ask where we can catch you at next. What's after Star Max race? Do you know?
As far as I know, I have to check my schedule again. I got a lot going on, but I think it's at LGI Fest, September 23rd.
Oh yeah, he asked were you ready for that. I'll be at LGI Fest as well.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be there with him, and I don't really have to check, see what else we got going on, but that's as far as I know as of September so far. Oh, and we got Larry's race the weekend after that. That's a 3-day event.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm from Louisiana. We ain't doing nothing until Sunday, so I'll be out there drinking, cutting up Friday and Saturday.
And that's to say, you must have forgot he coming.
I hope he's coming.
Derrick, listen, this has been a very entertaining interview. Like I said, the fans really wanted to ask those questions about, I call it easy gate. That's what I call it. But
Mm-hmm.
you really broke it down in a good way to let people know, hey, one thing about Derrick, he gonna stand on business. And so let's just I'm a fan. I'm gonna be honest. And I'm a fan of anybody who I know stands on business.
Appreciate it.
I'm not a fan of people who don't stand on business. So I can respect, everything you said. So
I ain't met a dude with a race car in this sport of big rim racing yet that I just don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every single one of them, to some extent, will be a guy that will help you from what I've seen. Right. And that's all you can ask for,
Right. Well, Derrick, thank you so much for sitting down to answer our questions. It was fun. It was informative. It was funny.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I had a great time.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you for having me. Good night.
All right. So, guys, if y'all have missed any of today's episode of Rides and Vibes, you can catch the replay on YouTube. If you click the link in my bio, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can watch the replay of this interview. You can also catch up on any past interviews. We've been doing this now since 2019. My 4-year anniversary is coming up. Actually, I think it's September 2nd. So the 4-year anniversary of Rides and Vibes is actually coming up this weekend. I'm thinking we may do a little party. We may do a little couple of giveaways or something. I'm not really sure. But I appreciate you guys continuing to rock with me for the whole 4 years that we've been doing it. I can't say how much longer we'll be doing it because I'm really getting tired and burnt out. But, as long as I continue to do it, thank you guys for continuing to rock with me. And I will see you guys next Tuesday, same time, for another episode of Rides and Vibes. Have a good night.